And from Oprah Winfrey to Naomi Watts to Drew Barrymore, celebrity women are normalizing a topic that has long been considered taboo. We're talking about menopause, which marks the end of fertility for women. It's something that affects 50 million women in the country.
But just 1% of organizations have any kind of menopause workplace policy or benefits. That's why a Seattle company is hoping to help with the stigma during this stage of life.
So I'll talk very openly with friends, but even this is like, it feels a little funny to be talking about menopause.
Colleen Moen is 55 and is going through menopause. But like so many women, the symptoms like anxiety, trouble sleeping, and hot flashes caught her by surprise.
And I think the confidence of like, what's going on with me? When you don't understand what's happening in your body or why you're feeling or acting that way, I think it can be really unsettling. I'm standing in a really important meeting and I think there's sweat dripping down my face. And I don't know what's happening, or it's not something I can say, excuse me, I'm experiencing a menopause symptom, I need to leave, I'll be right back.
Part of the problem, she says, is no one talks about it.
That conversation isn't in the workplace, right? I mean, it's not something I would consider saying as a valid reason for a health issue.
We're still living in secrecy and fear of losing our jobs if we disclose that we're going through menopause and we might need some assistance.
That's why April Haberman and her company Midovia are trying to change the conversation by creating more menopause-friendly workplaces. They're working with companies to educate and train managers and HR professionals.
It's not that individuals and organizations don't want to bring in those policies and support it. I think they see it as not necessary because they don't understand the depth and breadth of what menopause means and what women are going through during that transition.
Haberman says 3 out of 4 women experience menopause symptoms. 1 in 4 experience them in a severe way. Some women miss work, some cut back their hours, and others quit their jobs altogether. And the economic cost is significant. A study from the Mayo Clinic found nearly 11% of women missed work because of menopause symptoms, which equals $1.8 billion in lost productivity in the U.S. Midovia is working with Microsoft as well as the dental industry, which is experiencing staffing shortages. Educating dental professionals, many of whom are women, could be key in keeping them in the workplace.
And if there was a little bit of empathy and compassion for what this stage of life is like for women, there might be some support.
Having that support would have made a difference in Moen's life during a critical time.
I wish I had had those things. So I'm just hoping to help change the conversation.
And a survey done in 2022 found 80% of women, 80% had no knowledge or very little knowledge about menopause. The other problem is many doctors aren't educated about the symptoms either. A recent study found only 31% of OB/GYN residency programs have menopause curriculum. So women who go to the doctor and say, help me, there's something going on, don't get that support from the medical field as well. So that's challenging and makes you feel alone.
Erasing the stigma. It's interesting too, if I may. I think it's important for men to know about all this too.
Yes, especially if you have a wife, a spouse, a partner going to be going through this at the middle-aged stage of life.
How do you communicate with this wife or your sister or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's important that we talk about it. In fact, this is the first time in my career I think I've talked about menopause on TV. And some of the, the women I talk to as well say they just don't really talk about it. So it's time that obviously this is changing and opening the doors to more conversations.
So important, interesting to see.